Hi guys, I hope that you're having an awesome day. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming at you with my handbag wish list of 2025. So I hope that you enjoy it. If you do, make sure and give it a thumbs up. And without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Okay, so kind of like last year, I only have a few bags on my list this year for a couple of reasons. Reason number one, I think that younger Minnie would be really surprised to see older Minnie's wish list, especially because when I was younger, and I've talked about this before, when I was younger, I had like 20, 30 bags on my list. Not that there's anything wrong with that, right? But I feel like as the years progress, the older that I get, I'm a lot more methodical in what I add to my collection or what I want to add to my collection. And that's really based on the experiences of the handbags that haven't worked out for the best for me throughout the years, right? So it's kind of like a live and learn type of thing. But another reason is that, and I'm kind of putting it to the test this year, another reason is that I have noticed that when I start to research a bag and I go in on the research, you know what I mean? I think about it, I dream about it. It's all consuming type of research on that bag. Again, not that there's anything wrong with it, but I have noticed that when I do that, if I do get the chance to add said bag to my collection, once I have it, I feel like, and I say this very, very loosely, I feel like I move on from that bag very quickly compared to a bag that I didn't research, compared to a bag that just kind of came into my field of vision and I was like, oh, I kind of want to try this out, and I kind of buy it, not on impulse, but you know, kind of along those lines. So I feel like when I really go in on the research, I appreciate it. But sometimes I feel like I research it to death so much that I feel like it kind of takes away from enjoying the bag later on. And I don't even know if that makes any sense or not, but let me know if you guys feel the same way. Because I kind of noticed with the bags last year, there were bags that I was like, oh my God, obsessed with, like, I want to add them to my collection, blah, 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 you know, just going crazy on them, versus the ones that I was just kind of like, oh, I've never seen this bag before, I'm going to try it out. Those are the bags that I seem to lean towards the most than the ones that I research to death. You know, it's like once I have the research ones, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited. And then it kind of wears off. In not in a bad way, but just in a weird way. You know, I don't even know if I'm making sense or not. So I feel like this year there are a few bags that I would like to add to my collection. If that doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, so be it. You know, I will enjoy the ones that I currently own. But this year I do not want to research to death. I kind of want to look at it as like a blind purchase, a purchase that really surprises me. Like I don't know what to expect. Again, I'm not going to go for a bag that has a ton of red flags, although old Minnie likes to creep in and tries to justify certain styles that I know don't work out for me. So I'm not necessarily talking about that, but I kind of miss that don't know what to expect, let's experience this bag together for the first time type of thing. So, I mean, I don't know, it might not work out for me. It might end up biting me in the butt. I have no idea, but I figured, you know what, I'm going to try it this year and see how it goes. So I'm just going to roll with the punches and just, you know, it is what it is. If I find a bag that I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool, I'm going to try my hardest. To not research it, because that is just like, that is a part of my personality. I like to do that, but I'm going to try to refrain from doing that and see how that works out. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, but maybe I'm nuts. Maybe it'll work out for the best. Maybe it'll take me back to what it was like collecting handbags 20, 30 years ago, you know, which I am all for that, 100%. In all honesty though, I do miss those days when I didn't know what to expect. It was such a surprise to try out a bag for the first time when you bought it, because you're like, oh my God, it's kind of like you're discovering something for the first time, and it's exciting. It's absolutely exciting, and it adds to the whole experience of buying a brand new bag, at least in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate the research. I love the research. I love getting different people's perspective on a bag that I'm looking at, because there might be something that I haven't thought of that they're talking about that really kind of sways me from not adding the bag to my collection or going for the bag, right? So there's so many great benefits when it comes to the research, but I'm looking at it from a different perspective now, and I'm just like, you know what? I miss those days. I miss like the butterflies when you didn't know what to expect, and I'm curious to see if by refraining from the research, I'm able to kind of get that that feeling back in. Does that mean that I have purse piece? Definitely not. Definitely not. I personally do not believe in purse piece for myself. I admire those that have it. I think that's absolutely fantastic. But for me, handbags will forever be a part of my life. Handbags will forever have a revolving door in my collection. I mean, my love for handbags is so insanely deep-rooted that I sincerely, wholeheartedly don't think that that's ever going to change. Like, at all. I can stand by that statement 100% because I feel like I'm with handbags for the long haul. Like until the bitter end, I will be, I will be there with bags. I know that was the longest intro ever, but I wanted to share what was going on up here. And again, I would love to hear if any of you guys feel the same way. Okay, so let's begin with the first one. The first one is from Bottega, and it is the Jodie. Now, this is one that I talked about on my Instagram last year, and I'm kind of on the fence about it. The ones that I'm looking at are either the small Jodie, and I think that they changed the name, so it's kind of all over the place for me. So I'm not as experienced when it comes to Bottega, so my apologies. But it's kind of in between the small Jodie and the classic Jodie. The small Jodie comes in at $3,500 if I'm not mistaken. The classic Jodie comes in at $4,400 if I'm not mistaken. And I think that this bag is absolutely gorgeous. I love the simplicity. I'm a huge, huge fan of Bottega's leather. It's so soft. It's so supple. I love the colors that they have as well. I know that with the larger Jodies, they don't have as big a range when it comes to colors as you do with like the tiny ones or like the minis. But with this one specifically, I'm looking at that beautiful espresso brown. Oh my gosh, I saw this bag. I still haven't seen it in real life, so that's another major factor on whether or not I decide to add it to my collection because I haven't played around with it. I don't really know how it's gonna work out on my shoulder or whatnot, but when I see it, I'm like, oh my God, it's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. I love the classic one because it's a little bit more oversized, and I'm definitely feeling the oversized bags a lot more lately, even though I've always been a big fan of big bags. But then I'm like, is it too big? Is it like too overwhelming? Or maybe I should go for the small one. I did ask people on Instagram last year, for those, for the people that had the bag, what they loved about it, what they didn't like about it. And many of them said that they loved the bag. The leather is amazing, but many of them said that the zipper gets caught. I actually had someone send me a video of how the zipper gets caught. And I'm like, ooh, that might be a major, major deal breaker. Even though, I mean, if I had the bag, I think I would just leave it open like I do most of my bags because I want that quick and easy access. But at the same time, a funky zipper, I think, is usually a deal breaker for me. I don't know, but I think it is a beautiful, beautiful bag, and it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, especially in that beautiful, like, espresso brown, that deep, rich brown. It's a classic. I mean, the woven detail that it has is, of course, iconic to the fashion house, which I think is wonderful, but the leather, I imagine it being a little bit heavier, which I'm okay with, because you have that gorgeous, thick, beautiful leather, So I don't know, but that's one that I kind of go back and forth on. As I mentioned before, once I get to the boutique and I'm able to kind of play around with it, that's when I'll decide, maybe the small, maybe the classic, or maybe neither, maybe I'll just be like, dude, I can't deal with the zipper either. Moving on to bag number 2, that is the Louis Vuitton mini bum bag in the Damier Azur with a pink interior. My goodness, look at that bag, right? Look at that bag. It is absolutely gorgeous. Now, I don't know when this bag is going to be released. I don't have any information on it. I saw on an Instagram post, hopefully it's a worldwide release, because if it's only exclusive to one country, that is going to suck. But when I saw this, I mean, I started drooling the whole 9 yards, right? You guys know how I feel about Damier Azur. Damier Azur has my heart above all else. Then it's Damier Ben, then it's Monogram. But I think it is so, so beautiful. And I'm a huge fan of the mini bum bag. You guys know that my Monogram one, was a bag that I used quite a bit last year. I couldn't put it down, but when I saw that Damier Azur one, I was like, oh my God, that bag needs to come to mama, like 100%. So much so that I thought, if I'm able to get the Damier Azur one, I think I might end up letting this one go. Not because I don't love it. I do love the Monogram. And I can appreciate the treated leather that it has because it makes it that much more carefree. But if they do release the Demi Azur one with that pink interior, and if they do have the natural leather, I am all about that more than this. Again, I appreciate so many aspects of it, but it's my favorite print. It has my favorite type of leather. So it's like, I imagine that I would end up leaning more towards that one, and I would use that one a lot more than I would this one, because you guys know I'm not afraid of the Demi Azur. I welcome it with open arms and all, you know, all its little issues that it might come with. And I'm sure some of you guys are thinking, why not keep both? Again, because I feel like with this is one of those bags that I would gravitate more towards one than the other, and my heart just absolutely belongs to the Demi Azur. And if it does have that, I don't even know if it's like the rose ballerine interior. I think that's an older color, but that pink interior with the Demi Azur, I mean, come on. And then you add that gorgeous natural leather, I think it would be beautiful. So I imagine it, you know, getting that honey golden color for patina. Like I'm already aging the bag. Like I'm already thinking I have it. And I just think it would be absolutely fantastic. When I saw that, I was like, dude, game over, sign me up. I don't even know if they're gonna release it in Demi Ben. I only saw the Demi Azur. But on that note, I am so happy that there are so many more bags coming out that Demi Ben and Demi Azur are getting their moments in the sun. Not everything has to be monogram. Don't get me wrong, I love monogram as well, but it's just like every new style is always monogram. They always start with monogram. It's like, dude, give some of these other prints a little bit of love, right? I don't know. That's the way that I feel. All right, moving on to bag number 3. Again, I don't have any information on it. I don't know when they're gonna be released. But they are the oversized Coach Kiss Lock Clutch. Now, the whole Kiss Lock Clutch is nothing new when it comes to handbags. They've been around for a very, very long time. Of course, you have the very beautiful, the granny pouch from Vivienne Westwood, which I think, by the way, is absolutely fabulous. So, I mean, the whole Kiss Lock Clutch, I've always been a huge, huge fan of. But the oversized Kiss Lock Clutch, I'm just like, oh my God. It's going to be very similar to the Bottega bags that came out a few years ago. But I like that this is a little bit bigger. And the pictures that I've seen, the leather looks absolutely delicious. That's one thing that I have always loved and appreciated about Coach is their leather. It's just the quality of leather that you get. I mean, the smell of their leather is fantastic. So when I saw that these pictures came out last year, I was like, oh my gosh, the Kiss Lock Clutch, the Kiss Lock Clutch. I love that it's oversized. And normally I'm not a big fan of clutches. I don't really like the way that I feel when I have, you know, a clutch here. I just feel like I kind of end up putting my shoulders up. I feel like I'm a bird and I kind of walk around like this. I look like an idiot when it comes to clutches. I just can't pull them off to save my life. But with this one, I feel like it's a lot bigger, so I don't necessarily have to carry it this way. Maybe I can carry it a little bit differently. I don't know. But I think it is absolutely beautiful. And then, of course, you have it on the set of Just Like That with Sarah Jessica Parker. I saw that picture as well, and I was like, oh my God, it's going to become a reality. But I mean, huge fan of Coach. I will always be a huge fan of Coach. But the oversized clutch, I don't think... Is it going to be practical? Probably not. Is it going to be a pain in the ass to carry for extended periods of time? Probably. I hope it doesn't come with a chain either to use a crossbody. Like, no, I don't want that. I want something either like this. Maybe it'll be a little bit bulkier. I have no idea. Again, I'm already like imagining myself with it. So I'm kind of like thinking of ways that I can carry the bag, and I don't know. But I saw it, I fell in love with it, and it might not be the most practical bag to use, but that does not negate the fact that it is absolutely gorgeous, at least in my eyes, at least in my cock-a-brown eyes. And what I see, I think that it is stunning. So I'm excited about it. I wonder how much the price tag will be. I'm gonna go for like $6.95 if it does have the glove tan leather that they're known for. I feel like it might be like right around $6.95. I don't know. We'll see. I have never been this excited about a new Coach bag in a long, long, long time. I'm talking since the Carly bag way back in the day. And if you know the Carly bag, then you're my people. You are my people. That brings us to bag number 4, which is the Chanel Medallion Tote in the caviar leather. Now this bag has since been discontinued, but in my eyes, this handbag will forever be iconic because of Lauren Conrad on The Hills. When I saw the bag on that show, I was like, oh my God, I fell in love with it, all right? I absolutely fell in love with it. I don't know which color to go for. I've seen it in all colors, and in all colors, I think it's gorgeous. It's fabulous in red, it's fabulous in pink, in white, in beige, in black, you name it. I think that this bag is absolutely iconic. And it's a tote, it's old school Chanel, which I'm a huge, huge fan of. I really wish that they would revamp this style and bring it back. Of course, if they brought it back, it'd probably be like $8 or $9 grand, which no, I'm not a fan of that. But I mean, it's just, oh, I don't know. I have the warm and fuzzies whenever I see this bag. And I have had a chance to try it on a couple of times when I've been at Fashion File, because Fashion File has a huge array of these bags available. But I've tried a few of them on and I'm just like, oh my God, it's so this, it's so this, it's so that. But I never pull the trigger on it. Why? I have no idea why. I have no idea why, because the silhouette that it has is right up my alley. I mean, it does have the zipper closure, even though I would never use a zipper closure. I love the oversized CC because it's old school Chanel. I love the caviar leather. I mean, the whole 9 yards, right? I think it's absolutely beautiful. But maybe this year will be the year that I decide to add it to my collection, but I've had it on my sub wish list forever and a day. That's like the last one on my sub wish list is this beautiful Chanel medallion tote. I love the medallion on it as well. It just adds that detail to it that kind of makes it a little bit more, it gives it a little bit more oomph, you know? I know that some people aren't a fan of the giant CC on there, but again, we're talking about me. The bigger it is, the gaudier it is, the more I love it. So again, it is right up my alley. But I think it is absolutely gorgeous. And some of the ones that I've seen on the pre-loved market, they're in really great condition as well. And the price tag isn't too crazy for, for an older style bag, but I'm still looking for the one. Like I've tried on a few of them and they just didn't feel right. I feel like it has to have, at least for me anyways, it has to have that Goldilocks feel to it for me to proceed with the purchase. And so far, none of the bags that I have tried on have really given me that feeling. So until that happens, I'll keep holding out. But I just think I think it's so beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I feel like that show had so many great bags, but this is the bag that stands out for me 100%. So, like I said, hopefully I'm able to add that bag to my collection. But that does it for my wish list. Not crazy, right? Not too crazy. As I said before, if it happens, it happens. If not, so be it. It's not a big deal. But these are the ones that have really caught my attention. I would love to hear your guys' feedback. I would love to hear the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever the case may be. And I would also love to know which bags are on your wish list. Let us know in the comment section down below. But I love you guys to the moon and back. If you enjoyed this video, make sure and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already and you'd like to, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and I'll see you guys in my next one. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not, the choice is yours. Have a great day.